first speaker today is going to be Kristen Esser with the Turnell Financial Group. Kristen Esser is the director of Lake County chapter of Autism Society of Illinois. Her heart for the special needs community stems from her years volunteering in high school and has continued to grow over the years. Kristen has been the director for over a year and has helped organize events such as Superheroes for Healing at Gurney Mills, Rally for Autism, a 5K run walk held at Independence Grove, and the Highwood Pumpkin Fest. So the Autism Society of Illinois is a 501c3 that helps individuals and families on the autism spectrum in Illinois. And Kristen's going to tell us a little bit more about that. So let's give Kristen a warm welcome.
Sorry, guys.
I'll hand those out, Elizabeth.
Wanted my space. My name is Kristen Esser, and I'm part of the Turnell Financial Group. I've been here for about 2 years, but in my spare time, which is funny because I work at Turnell. Last time here I can say that, don't tell. I donate some of my time to the Autism Society. It is a 501c3, and the main office is down in Lombard. I'm not going to tell you today a list of 50 things. I was going to have you all take out paper and write down 50 things that autism is. But instead of doing that, I'm going to share with you a story, and then I'm going to tell you what you can learn from autism. And then I'm going to tell you how you can help. This is Noah. He's a cute little boy. He is one of our families here in Lake County. His parents, he was the firstborn to his family, and he was a happy little boy. He was smiling and looking you in the eyes, did a phenomenal job. When Noah was about 3, he was a little different. You know, you grow up as a parent and you have what you remember as a child, and the memories you have, and the playing with the kids, and the swing sets and all that. This wasn't Noah's childhood. It was a little bit different. He loved doors and locks and buttons, the garage door, up and down, up and down. There's good thing Jerry's here. It wasn't something that his parents thought was just so outright, okay, yes, he has something that's different need. It was subtle things like when you go to the beach and his shorts would get wet, he'd want to take them off because he didn't like the touch of them on his skin. It was the behaviors he had in school. In the Montessori school he went to, there was preschool, so it was small groups, activities, as well as large groups. His behaviors in the large group started becoming disruptive, and he would get overwhelmed by the sights and the sounds, flip over tables, things along that line. Just really disruptive behavior, flee from the schools. Eventually, the Montessori school said that he needed to leave, and his parents took him to their local elementary school. Well, this was a fresh start, or so his parents thought. It turns out, after a month of being there, they were having the same problems. Everyone was chalking up these problems to his parents' separation. It's because he's not getting consistency. It's not because he's getting this. He's just acting out. He wants your attention. Those are all the things swirling around in these parents' heads. As it turns out, there was more than that. The teachers suggested what they call an IEP. It's basically where you get services for special needs. It can be speech, and it can be social, emotional, mental, or physical. It can be anything. Well, his teachers decided to do this IEP and get placements and did a bunch of tests. What it turned out was that he needed more services and more help. They actually asked his parents to fill out a form. His mom filled out this form, and it was for autism. Now, can you imagine, okay, yes, we're going through this separation. We think it's behavioral. We don't know what's going on. And you get these tests from the school. And it turns out you're sitting there filling out a form, and it's all these things that are starting to make sense. And in your heart, you know it's autism, because that's what the test was for. Eventually, he was diagnosed on the autism spectrum with Asperger's. It's a high-functioning form of autism, not non-verbal, not eye contact. There's many forms of it. Once you meet one child with autism, you have only met one child with autism. Each case is extremely different. Well, his parents, as you can imagine, what is this? What does this mean to our life? What does this do for our family? Well, it basically means you have to go to a new school. You have one child in the mainstream school and another child in a special needs school. You have to manage 2 flexible schedules. It means phone calls from the teacher while your child is in the background throwing a complete and utter fit, and you're at work trying to hold it together. It means smiles. It means affection. It doesn't mean that they can't express that. I'm lucky to know people who have children who can actually say I love you, because other families can't hear their kids say that. It means that parent on the floor with the child between their legs, rocking them because they're trying to bite themselves or hit themselves or scratch the parents. That's what that means. It means a lifetime. What are they going to do when they're older? Are they going to get married? Will they drive a car when they're 16? Or will it take until they're 21? Will they go to college? Can they hold down a job? Those are all different questions that parents with autistic children have to think about. And that's just scratching the surface. This is a cause near and dear to my heart, because that story's not about just some kid. That was my kid, and he's here today, and I want him to introduce himself. My son doesn't look autistic. He talks to you, he looks at you in the eyes, he is extremely personable. But today, later, when I take him to school, I'm going to need to, what we need to do is take some sensory activities and really decompress him before he can go back. Because this is a sensory overload. The smells, the touch, everything, the sights. And not every parent has to do that. And that's why I do what I do. We are fundraising for Autism Society because I want to help other families. Jonathan has many friends who are on the spectrum as well, and we can help their families. I'm very blessed that he can tell me he loves me, because a lot of them they can't. They can't talk, they can't jump, they can't run, they can just be. Thank you. Just a few pictures. I mean, he leads a pretty normal life. It's not what a lot of people think. But little did you know, last week, a week from today, or a week ago today, I was that mom sitting there with him in between my legs, trying to keep him from holding himself just before I went to work and getting here on time and putting on my facade. And it's not a facade, I lied. It is, I'll explain. I've learned a lot from my son, so much. And these are the things that I want to talk to you about, because it's not just me that can learn from autism, it's all of you. Each and every one of you has some sort of circumstance in your life that can be applied, and these are the things I learned, so we're going to go through them. Accept your circumstances. I did cry for a while, and I watched Parenthood to get over this. I watched the first season. If anyone's seen it, they get the diagnosis, and that was like my therapy. I sat there and I watched as they went through the steps and identified with that. And then eventually went to Autism Speaks to get help. And then eventually found Autism Society, where I can accept my circumstances more by a community of people. But each one of you meet with people. Each one of you have families. Each one of you have friends who are very special or difficult or different. And each one of us is unique. So I encourage you to meet people where they are. Everyone is different. We have to expect the unexpected. I didn't expect my child to have these challenges, but I am embracing them and learning from them. And flexible. We have this thing in this Autism Society, or in autism community, called FlexBrain, and we need to be flexible. We might go into a meeting and have one idea, and the person in the meeting has another idea. You guys need to work together and be flexible. You can take all these principles and apply them to business and personal, everything. I went skydiving skydiving last year. It was probably the most terrifying thing I've ever done other than speaking right now. I'm gonna be honest. That podium though, I can tell you this is much easier. I went skydiving because I feel like it was the most difficult thing I could overcome in my life, really. I mean, autism is a challenge. But skydiving, man, you don't have a choice when you're up in that plane. So I did that as part of an Autism Society fundraiser, and this year I'm going to be doing it again. Cody's not here, so I'm going to go for it. He told me if we raise $1,000 for Autism Society that he will go skydiving as well. So I know there's a few. Yeah. He said he would do it. I'm totally holding him to his word. If we reach $1,000, he'll go. 500, he said, and I said, well, that's too bad. We'll get 1,000.
There's the bucket. I'll be first to give you $20 toward it. Just would like to see everybody put $20 toward it. There you go.
Kristen, $250.
Woo!
$250 I will match.
Okay.
So come on, people, fork it up, and I'll write her a check today for $250.
Thank you. And you guys, I really appreciate it. I want to tell you, because you give to charities, and we do a lot of things, and there's personal stories. There is a family in, I think it's LaGrange, who has 2 sons who are autistic, and they are homeschooling, and they can't homeschool without a computer. So part of this donation today will go towards those families so that they can homeschool their children. That's what is impressive to me about Autism Society. There are a lot of awesome nonprofits out there for autism, but this one is the boots on the ground. This is the one that really reaches the families. We do fundraisers such as Rally for Autism, which is held at Independence Road, as well as the Highway Pumpkin Fest, and we did the Superheroes for Healing up at Gurney Mills. Last year was our first year. So if you can please, if you give monetarily, awesome, and thank you so much. But if you have time or abilities that you would like to serve with us, that would be fantastic. But I just want to say thank you all for listening to me. This is an honor to be here. I am supported by so many people from this group, so the new people who are here get to know everyone because they are the most supportive group I know. Thank you.